Again, the All-Star Showdown begins tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern. And what a great weekend this is in Southern California for these short track racers.
40 East-West K&N Pro Series competitors going to battle it out tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern.
After the All-Star Showdown, it's the Whelen All-American late model race. That'll go 75 laps. So the main events taking place right at 10 o'clock.
And remember, this is not the only event we're going to see for the rest of this night. We've got another race coming on after this, a 50-lap last chance race. Might call it a hooligan race to see who's going to get the last 6 spots for the All-Star Showdown tomorrow night.
To make it into the feature event tomorrow night, we have 11 cars that will be battling it out for 6 positions. So the top 6 will advance to tomorrow night's All-Star Showdown. That will be coming up after this race. They're giving the field 1 to go. Rip Michaels on the inside. The 5 of Travis Thurkettle on the outside of row number 1. Alex Haas has dropped back to the 3rd spot on the inside of row number 2. And then outside of him, Derek Thorne in that 22. We talked about David Gilliland, former winner of the Toyota All-Star Showdown, running in this super late model race. Dick Berggren.
David Beat's car is in the infield. Electrical problems. They're trying to get the hood off.
David Beat, one of those names that we talked about, names to watch, and it doesn't look like it's going to be his night tonight.
Let's see what kind of restart Rip Michaels gets here. Travis Thurkettle watched that last restart from the 2nd row.
Out of turn 4, green flag back in the air. They're both in the gas simultaneously, and it looks like problems back behind them. The 25 gets around, the 36 also with problems. The 90 has damage, so the caution comes right back out.
Remember, Joey Tanner was running up towards the front of the field in that 36 car.
25 of Scott Dodd. Near Loma, California. He stopped on the front stretch. Let's take a look at this restart.
See the 36 car, he's starting 7th right now, gets jacked up and turned into the 25 car on the restart.
A lot of damage to that 36. Again, that's Joey Tanner. And then everyone avoiding behind him.
I'll tell you, only 2 cars involved in that incident. Started as far up as 7th on that restart. These drivers did a nice job.
See the fire rescue team attending to the race car. Looks as though Joey Tanner is going to ride this one.
Contact has already been made. Joey Tanner then makes contact with the 25 car of Scott Dodd. There's where he gets jacked up right there by the car that's running 9th. That's the 33 of Partridge, Ryan Partridge.
90 got sideways. Justin Johnson, he got into another race car. You see the 19 also slow on the track. Chavez. Dick Berggren.
Car number 26, Scott Ruschenberg, taking his helmet off right now. He's all done. They looked under the hood. Right front damage to that car. Short night.
Difficult night for a few different drivers. See if people are climbing out of the race cars. Some with more damage than others. Sean Calderwood, probably the wildest ride of the night, as he had a barrel roll across the front stretch. Damage to a few cars here, and just a frustrating night, I'm sure, for quite a few drivers. Hooking up to the 36. Now Joey Tanner, they'll pull him into the infield. We see the safety crews continuing. Again, Phil, I mean, we've talked about it. This was scheduled to be a 100-lap race. It's not going to make it that distance because there was also a time limit of an hour, and we're closing in on that 1 hour.
We are actually. So these guys know that time is of the essence, and they're not able to watch the scoreboard and say, hey, I've got 66 laps to go to do something, or I'm gonna have to make it happen quick. I'm not sure exactly when this race is gonna end. We have that big 50-lap last chance race to get to the Toyota All-Star Showdown coming up right after this race.
So they're going to have to hook onto the 25 of Scott Dodd as well. Earlier this evening, you saw qualifying. Greg Pursley in the 26 put down a pretty impressive mark early on. Joey Logano looked as though he was going to be a challenger for the pole, decided to go to the bottom of the racetrack in 3 and 4, said, that might not have worked as well as I would have hoped to. And then 16-year-old Sergio Pena gets on the racetrack and really puts a mark down and grabs his first career pole.
First race for Revolution Racing, Max Siegel's outfit. Sergio, one of the Driver for Diversity Initiative drivers, looking forward to a full season here in the K&N Pro Series East Division, possibly.
Yeah, an impressive run, and what an excited young man, just 16 years old, still in 11th grade. I mean, you have a hard time comprehending what he's accomplished already. Most 16-year-olds just get their driver's license and are, maybe allowed to go to and from school or maybe to a job. But here's a young man who is really racing against some of the best in this industry. Joey Logano will start on the outside of him, and he grabbed the pole in his first ever race here at Irwindale.
Can you imagine what that young man's going to think when he gets ready to restart, or gets ready to start that race on the initial start? He's got Joey Logano, who's already won this race, the Toyota All-Star Showdown. He won a Cup race at Loudon last year. He's won a bunch of nationwide races, and here he is at 16 years old, and he's got Joey Logano to his outside, and you really have a disadvantage starting on the inside here at this type of racetrack. So I cannot imagine. We had him on the show here a little while ago, and he said, I just want to go home and go to sleep.
He was so excited, and he brought up the fact that Joey Logano was going to be on his outside. As a young man, obviously, you started your career a little bit later than he did, but was there somebody like that you were just a little bit in awe of when you got to the racetrack?
I think just about everybody. I mean, I was fortunate enough that I was around a lot because my older brother Benny certainly raced and started racing in the Cup Series in 1970 on a regular basis, so I was around a lot and I knew a lot of the drivers, but it was hard to believe that when I finally got out there with them, that I was able to race against people like Richard Petty and David Pearson and Cale Yarborough and so many of my heroes.
Hall of Famers. I mean, guys that, will go down as some of the greatest of all times in the sport of stock car racing. And tonight we witnessed a very emotional night and an exciting night for a young 16-year-old whose career is just budding. There's Ron Fellows. He's spotting for the 90 team, Justin Johnson, and Dick Berger's with him.
Remember to turn this thing on. Justin Johnson in the infield right now, smoke coming out of the radiator, or what's left of the radiator. How hard a hit was that?
Wasn't too bad of a hit. It's just unfortunate for the Vision Airlines Ford Fusion. My team works really hard to get here all season, and unfortunate, the guys in the front get turned, and we end up getting the result.
Vision Airlines, we should mention, is flying back and forth between the United States and Haiti, bringing medical supplies to the people who have been involved in that devastating earthquake.
I guess Kevin Croyer's probably not too happy about what's happening to his motor right now. Kevin used to be a staple in the Camping World Truck Series.
Won an awful lot of races with Brendan Gaughan, who won his first ever pavement race here.
That's right.
At this racetrack.
Jim Trado.
With Joey Tanner running 7th on that restart, and everything changed for you. Had a good run going. What happened?
There was a little bit of brake checking going on up front, and everybody picked up the pace, and I slowed down to stop from hitting the guy in front of me, and I got plowed. It's a sad deal. We had a really good car. It's a brand new car we brought out. The crew did an awesome job tuning it up. We had a little problem there in the middle of the race. The car was getting really loose. Dial in some front brake. It was getting better and getting better. It's a shame. You come all the way from Oregon and you have such high expectations, but what do you do?
The thoughts of Joey Tanner driving car 36.
Joey Tanner had qualified 4th and already out of this race.